Well, you guys, that was a rough one. After a really good start in the first quarter, going up 10-0, the offense was doing very well. Aside from the running game, there just wasn't much on the ground, unfortunately, for Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams to really run, but the passing game was clicking. Aaron was starting out the game great, and then after the first quarter, it just completely went south from there, and it was Tampa Bay's game from there on out. It really honestly started with that pick six by Jamel Dean, the third-year corner. I mean, that was actually a really risky throw to throw that one to Devontae on the out route. Him and Aaron usually connect on that route, but I think Jamel Dean's coverage was pretty good. He jumped it and picked it off, and then ran it the other way for the Tampa Bay's first score after scoring no points at all in the first quarter. Green Bay's defense was doing pretty well to start out. They were stuffing the run. They didn't allow Mike Evans to do much today. Without Kevin King, obviously I thought things were going to be a little bit tough for the Packers to defend the pass. It turns out that neither Chris Godwin nor Mike Evans really had a breakout game. The breakout game came from the third tight end, Rob Gronkowski, good old Tom Brady's best friend in New England. And he caught one of the touchdown passes today by Brady. Just a really, really good offensive performance by Tampa Bay today. And their run game predictably went off with Ronald Jones getting over 100 yards, but a lot of that came at the end of the game. And then Keyshawn Vaughn kind of came in to clean up some of that after taking Jones out of the game for the remainder of it. And then after that, it was just yikes. I mean, just an all-around awful performance by the Packers today. But it was more so the great performance by Tampa Bay, especially their defense. And I can tell you that their defense is legit. It's absolutely championship caliber. I mean, if they keep this up, of course, if they can create consistent pressure like that, it's just going to be nightmares for other opposing offenses. So, if there are any teams in the NFC that are underrated right now, it's Tampa Bay, because that defense is for real, and their offense is really good when Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are both in the game, and that was something that was absent for the past couple of weeks, especially when Chris Godwin was out for the Chicago Bear game, and I'm pretty sure Tampa Bay would have won had Chris Godwin been healthy. So, Bear fans, you guys think that you're better than us? You are not better than us. We are still 4-1. You guys may be 5-1, but you're only 5-1 because you had one game in week 5. And I gotta say, congratulations to you guys for beating the Panthers today. That was actually a really, really good performance. Carolina, it was in Carolina. I expected them to win, but congratulations to the Bears on that victory. They did pretty good, and they're winning football games, so they might be 5-1. They may have the North for now, but we're coming back for it. We're 4-1, but we're about to be 5-1 next week when we take on the Houston Texans, who don't have the defense that the Tampa Bay Bucks do. And Aaron Rodgers will be back to his old self. Let's just take this game, shove it under the rug, watch the film, and learn from our mistakes from today's game. That's all I have to say, is that we are still 4-1. We're still the Green Bay Packers. We are still a good football team. This is just one game, and that's all I have to say. It was an ugly game. It was an awful game, but this was more great Tampa Bay Buccaneers as opposed to bad us. I thought we did pretty well through the first 4 games. Today, we just didn't. The offensive line all game was outmatched by a stellar defensive front led by Ndamukong Suh. And then you have Shaq Barrett, Jason Pierre-Paul, and then you got the fast inside linebackers of Lavonte David and Devin White. Those two guys are amazing football players, extremely underrated, especially Lavonte David. Lavonte David is the most underrated linebacker in the game, you guys. Lavonte David is a top 100 player, bar none, and I don't even know why nobody gives him credit for what he does for Tampa Bay and its defense. And I think Levante David really is the leader of that defense. He's what really makes that defense go. Anyway, losing David Bakhtiari in the third quarter, that hurt too. I think that just was kind of like that was the finisher right there. I thought that was the deflator for the team, was losing David, and there was no hope of any chance of any comeback after that. I mean, as if the whole entire second quarter wasn't bad enough. I thought maybe that there was a glimmer of hope. Maybe there was going to be like some type of defensive turnover that would sway the momentum back for the Packers. It didn't happen, just like the way I hoped that it would have. This was just a game to just kind of take a look at it and just see that it was just the Tampa Bay just had our number today. And a lot of credit to that Tampa Bay defense, to Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator. He was able to adjust and did what they needed to do to be able to win this game. And the final stat line, Aaron Rodgers, 16 of 35 for 160 yards and 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. Like I said, this was just not a very good game for Aaron. There was pressure in his face all game long, and that was kind of the main contributor to his interceptions. Some of his passes were probably, they wanted to come out quicker than he wanted. And like I said, Tampa Bay's defense, they were the big main reason for the turnovers. One of them was also tipped from Carlton Davis that landed into the arms of Mike Edwards. That was the second interception. The first one was probably an ill-advised decision to throw the ball to Devontae on the out route. I'm pretty sure that Aaron will look at the tape and just probably see that he can learn from his mistakes and then go from there and fire on all cylinders next week against Houston. And the main guy on the ground that was able to get the most yards was Jamal Williams, 4 carries for 34 yards. Next in line was A.J. Dillon, 5 carries for 31. And then Aaron Jones was only able to muster 15 yards and a touchdown on 10 carries. I mean, that's just a really tough chore to be able to run against that Tampa Bay defensive front. They are amazing. And as far as receiving goes, Davante Adams was the leader for 61 yards on 6 catches. And then Marquez got 32 on 3 catches. And no touchdown catches by any receiver today. It was just a dominating performance by Tampa Bay on offense and defense. For Tampa Bay, Tom Brady didn't really outpass Aaron that much. He only got 166 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then, like I said, Ronald Jones was the main ball carrier, 23 catches, 113 yards, 2 scores. And then Keyshawn Vaughn got 42 on 5 carries. And then Chris Godwin, 5 catches, 48 yards. And then we got Rob Gronkowski with 70 yards and 1 score on 5 catches. And Mike Evans got held in check for the most part. He only got 1 catch for 10 yards. And that was how things went for Tampa Bay. And then the defense, good night. Their sacks, they got a lot of them. One of them by Devin White, one by Ndamukong Suh, 1.5 by Levante David, and then 1.5 by Jason Pierre-Paul. I think that what I can take from this is that this game was eerily similar to the games against the San Francisco 49ers. That's what I said all throughout. I'm like, gee, this is the 49er game all over again. And I'm like, did Tampa Bay just go out and get the 49ers defense from last year? Because that's exactly what it looks like. And this is something where I am concerned about, is having the Packers play this type of defense to where you have a suffocating pass rush. And yikes, I mean, a fast physical defensive front is something that this offense struggles against. And I didn't expect to see this today. But I think that's kind of a weakness going forward, is we had to evaluate this very carefully, is when we go up against a physical front going forward. I hope that we can make some adjustments or do something, whatever it takes, to be able to keep pace with a type of physical fast front like this. Otherwise, we're going to get eaten alive if this continues to happen. Unfortunately, that's just how things went today. I was expecting more of a competitive game where maybe the Packers were going to score points into the 20s and Tampa Bay would probably get something pretty close, and probably a close victory by either one of the teams. It was really 50-50 for me. I really didn't know who to pick. Something told me that it was going to be Tampa Bay to come out with a victory just because they were at home. If this was at Lambeau, I would have went with Green Bay. But like I said, it really wasn't our day, and this was Tampa Bay's day. Simple as that. And Tampa Bay has a great defense, bar none. Especially if they keep this up. I mean, wow. I just want to get all of this off my chest and give give my immediate thoughts and reaction to a really awful game in Tampa Bay. We laid an egg at Raymond James Stadium, and next week hopefully we come back stronger, better, and angry against the Houston Texans. Now they're a bad football team. They just fired their head coach, Bill O'Brien. But you know what? It's no holds bar. That's what Tampa Bay did to us today. It was no holds bar. They kept their foot on the gas for the most part. And you know what? If we have to beat up on a Houston Texans opponent and blow them out to let some steam out, let's do it. Let's just do whatever it takes to get to 5-1, and let's just land back on our feet and come back next week stronger and keep our foot on the gas and no freaking break. And with all that said, I'll catch you guys later. Go Pack Go.